Recorded Books presents Summerhouse by Yiğit Karaahmet. Narrated by me, George Guidall. For the Girls. Part 1. When 40 winters shall besiege thy brow, and dig deep trenches in thy beauty's field, thy youth's proud livery, so gazed on now, will be a tattered weed of small worth held. This were to be new made when thou art old, and see thy blood warm when thou feel'st it cold. Sonnet 2, William Shakespeare. Overture. The storm had come. The wind, in all its violence, had swept away every trace of happiness along the dirt path that led to the mansion, leaving behind nothing but rage, solitude, and betrayal. They entered the garden, where the fragrances of honeysuckle, jasmine, and rose had once mingled together in harmony. Their musky scent seemed now to smell like a corpse just beginning to rot. As he climbed the steps of the veranda, a few of the boards creaked. He hadn't noticed the sound before, but the wooden steps, at least as old as he was, had perhaps begun creaking that very same day. Everything was changing so quickly that he couldn't keep up with the pace of time itself. He stood at the door of a house that no longer felt like his own. Though he knew every nook and cranny of this place by heart, it suddenly felt entirely foreign to him. Trembling, his whole body shivering as though he'd been left out naked on a cold winter night, he opened the door and entered. Where was he? Whose chairs, paintings, and crystal glassware were these, whose photographs, harboring the hallowed memories of love in their silver frames? He took one of the frames and looked at the face in the photograph. How happy he'd once been. How young, how handsome, how brimming with life. Who is this? He whispered to himself. Whose face was this, far too happy to be his own? He turned around in the half-dark. In the corner of the living room lay a shadow, immense and unmoving as a beached whale. He tiptoed to the ponderous shape. The piano. The piano where, once upon a time, he had played the most beautiful of love songs. This piano served no purpose now except to remind him of how old he was, how happy he had once been. Filled with loathing, he glowered at the piano, which seemed ever so briefly like a sealed coffin containing his memories. Now it was nothing more than a pathetic instrument, a piece of junk in the corner of an old house, waiting there to die. Was this the piano that played our song? It can't be. It mustn't be. It mustn't. In the heavy silence that filled the house, he heard a voice. He crept to the foot of the staircase. The voice was coming from upstairs. He made his slow ascent up the stairs. He leaned on the railing with every step, trying to keep his breath, his anger under control. When he reached the top, he stood and listened in the faint light of the hallway. It was Denise's voice in the room at the end of the hallway, the bedroom. And in that instant he heard his voice, too. Him, the man he loved, the man for whom he'd woven the most beautiful of tapestries. The other man smiling alongside his own young, happy face in the photographs downstairs. That man, his husband, in the room, too. He crept down the hallway. Inside the room, their voice...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?